One and all, this matchup is a sad conundrum right now. I want it to be so good, but it just feels so one-sided. I cannot imagine that Demu would have made this pick, Knights Templar, up against Delhi without something in mind, considering that based on the draft, which you can see here, Delhi seemed statistically almost 100% to come out in Dry River. So Demu's definitely got to have something in mind. The reason why this matchup is frustrating, guys, is in theory, it could end up being the coolest matchup in the history of Age of Empires 4. Two civs that desire the sacred sites, that fight over the sacred sites, because both of them get something from the sacred sites. But the reality check is that Delhi's timings tend to eclipse Knights Templar. And also the way that Delhi play towards sacred sites disables what Knights Templar want to do. So, with that in mind, how does Demu approach this? There's a few thoughts in mind. We could be seeing him do a different type of contract than we normally see, because usually it's the French commandery. The other possibility, and there it is going to be fishing. Fishing makes a lot of sense for Knights Templar. We've already highlighted on the YouTube videos, and go check them out if you have not, why KT is broken on water. There's a lot of different details that fabricate a civ that, quite frankly, just doesn't seem remotely reasonable. Their production rate is better than Chinese on water. Their gold discount helps a lot in water fights. That doesn't matter as much here, but what will matter is the efficiency on trees. Great gathering rate, gathers food alongside it while gathering wood. Just gives you a very competitive play with this type of opening. Anno, on the other hand, has not gone for that. So, Anisan, this Delhi pick, we show it in the draft. If you look, you can actually see the Mongol pick at the end from Demu. That's really important here. I think what Anisan was conceptualizing was a Mongol pick. Because a Mongol pick would have allowed him to play onto the ponds at the same time as a Mongol player, because you can build fishing boats to defend yourself. Remember, Delhi fishing boats fire back. But now, because Knights Templar aren't likely to ever aggro you, there's just not an upside. And arguably, if you tried to play fishing versus KT, you start to lose the game more. But this is frustrating, because usually the weakness of Knights Templar and their feudal timing, and why Delhi roll them over, is because you just have weaker economy. Remember, when you play as Knights Templar, when you tech up, you're going to sacrifice 3 villages just to get to Feudal Age. That's a lot, considering usually when you go Feudal Age, you're under 20 villages. But as we can see by the eco count, Demu has already offset that concern by building into the fishing. Yeah, this is a cool build. Any boy's cooking, man. And kind of needs to. A little bit of shock and awe strategy come out in game number 1 off the way Anatan kind of made him roll over and play dead. I know. I wonder, does he just try to pro scouts? You probably cancel wheelbarrow and you follow up pro scouts just because Demu is unlikely to play pro scouts. I haven't really seen Knights Templar try it so far. But they do this all the time. Kingdom of France is going to be coming in pretty much the norm. You're tired and nauseous and ready to watch AoE 4 day? Well, boy, oh boy, have we got you covered. Because 4 days a week, we stack it with 6 to 8 hours of Age of Empires forecasted content. And then obviously we have YouTube uploading between 1 and 2 videos a day. I mean, honestly, you guys are just getting spoiled here. Meanwhile, my day began grimly. I didn't actually mention this yet. I think I might have sprained it, which is bad that I haven't actually, put anything on my ankle. I think I sprained my ankle. When I woke up this morning, it felt really bad, and I looked down, and it's just full-on swollen. I'm certain it's not broken, because if it's broken, I just wouldn't be able to walk on it. And what is up, my boy Chum? That's broken OP. Look at that. 10 months. What a legend. Appreciate everyone who's been subbing. Keep those subs coming in. I can walk on it, so, it's a light sprain, but it's so swollen. Meanwhile, for Demu, the thing's going to get swollen is going to be his fishing boat count. So, second pond setup. Oh, you can see the goal. Yeah, this is kind of cool. So, he can basically target the sacred site. And the double docks, I mean, you could basically build aggressive boats here if you need extra protection. That's pretty cool. I think that's the goal here. So, he'll be able to blob units, but let's say you get overwhelmed in this area, you just build an archer ship. And it is going to be the opening of the Chevalier Confrère. Chevalier, I don't think, do that well against Ghazi. for the sim costs. It's 140 versus 166. So like if you have an X amount of resources, you invest the same amount. I think Ghazi should do a little bit better, I want to say. Their base damage is basically identical because, well, their damage rather is identical because the bonus against heavy, but then the 2 that gets offset. But Ghazi tend to flood a little bit faster. I think their production rates are insanely competitive. And also they can choose where and how they fight with movement speed. It's like, if Confrere got an A-click fight with the same amount of resources invested as Ghazi, I think they win. But that's not really how Age of Empires 4 works. And that's why I always roll my eyes when, when you get those videos like, look, 10 horsemen can beat a tower elephant. Okay, yeah, but like, where is that tower elephant in a real game? Is he against a tree line? Has he got more troops with him? There's so many details. And also, like, the hilarity of saying, 8 horsemen can beat a tower elephant, but then you don't show what happens when 40 horsemen go up against 5 tower elephants. Is kind of comical. They lose, by the way. Like, the tower elephants are kind of ridiculous. So, poke damage, forcing reaction. Demu, he has gone immediately into Safe Passage Sanctuary, so double points into the Pilgrims, but I love this. He knows all focus is going to be on the south side, so for now, he Pilgrims to the far east. Much like the Europeans did. But the cool thing is now, if he starts to win these fights, this is a safe pilgrimage that's going to give him almost immediately maximum gold cap. We do have Anno prepping into the Undermesh. It's going to be switched over now into Archers. Steel Arrow is going to want to be aggressive on its timing here. The reason is, like, Steel Arrow obviously is going to enable you to melt the Chevalier Confrere. They just don't have much armor. 2 is plastic levels of protection. Have you guys ever tried to, like, fight someone off plastic? I mean, unless they're allergic to it, you got a problem. Actually, that's not true. There's some forms of plastic that are good. So, like, once you get Chevalier Confrere to, like, 30 plus count, that type of plastic is airsoft rifles where I spend over $1,000 on the gun. That stuff's going to pop pretty hard. We could probably actually, like, put someone hot with that. But the challenge usually is getting them. The comical element of Demu's pomp is because he's got so much fishing behind it, it's looking effortless. Already up to 8. Like, he's mirroring the Ghazi count, which is really impressive here. Remember, he produced these every 19 seconds right now. But on the other side, like, look at this, 13 seconds and cheaper. Technically, there should be more Ghazi than there are Chevalier. Simply not the case. First Sacred Site has now been locked in, so finally Anatan is getting his eco-injection. He needed this. He was really starting to slip. Like, at this stage, your opponent has got 40 economy effective. Well, maybe less because the fishing boats aren't as good as a normal villager, but pause that thought. We have got a full conflict here. Trades out favorably for Anatan as long as he gets away, because the Chevalier more than died. But the problem here is, with the Scholars in range, he's kind of baiting himself into thinking it's still a good fight. Yeah, and now the Archers can actually just last hit the inch by, so we'll have to peel off. Sacrifices double Scholar in the end, and the decap to follow up. Like, honestly, Demu got to be very happy with this outcome. And the Scholar on the north side also blocked. Wow, so this was the only Sacred Site he got. So yeah, the reason why I said that Demu, when he was at 33, eco was more like 40. The fishing boats aren't quite as good as a standard villager. They're worse, but what he's making up for it with is 130 gold gen every minute. 130 gold gen every minute is equivalent to about 2.5 to 3 villagers worth of gathering. So a lot at this stage of the game. Like, he's getting almost a 10% booster per pilgrim. So you see why people rush into it, why they sacrifice a villager for this. You're pretty much multiplying that one villager you lost out on by 3. And the cool thing is, like, it might occasionally get harassed, it might occasionally die, but funny detail, guys, these things just keep appearing for free. So, like, who's winning now, suckers? Like, yes, I sacrificed a villager, but what happens when that villager eventually gets sniped by a Ghazi raid? I probably wish I just had a pilgrim instead, every single minute. The gamble ratio? So the Gambaholics, 74% on Anachad, which is understandable. I think Delhi is, like, very, very, very dominant on this map. And Knights Templar have, historically, in this matchup so far on the expansion, looked pretty bad. I haven't rated them well at all. But obviously this is different with the fish. The fish changed everything. Pilgrims die is the equivalent of having a villager idled. Yeah, but the point is that you could lose these villagers in your base, and it would be gone forever. Or you get idled to the afterlife, and then another one comes along 60 seconds later. So you see how like powerful that is, technically? It's bad if you don't have any map control at all, but if you're in a contested game, it's actually pretty good. Also, the problem is, like, early on with Pilgrims, you just don't have the mass to block. Because you're gambling. You don't know where your opponent is going to go. He could have went to any one of these sacred sites. We see he finally does intercept, but think about how long that took. How many runs happened in the meantime. And what Demu can now do is just pivot to a different sanctuary. Like, ooh, villagers. Okay, these ones are going to be going in permanently. Can he actually get the cutoff, though? The Chevalier are moving. Anatan, he had to get out here. All bar one of the Ghazi, and behind this. What is this timing? Are you kidding me? This is kind of crazy. Anatan is going into Castle Age. If Demu gets a whiff of this, though, the punishment is going to be all too real. So Anatan, what he's doing right now is huge. Just wasting the Chevalier's time entirely and keeping them away from his base. I say as Anatan starts to back. Anno. Anatan. We're meant to be running him around his own base right now. Okay, Demu does back up. So was that like extra levels of mind games? Because usually the expectation is if a Ghazi starts running around here doing circles and you chase him, used to work, but like high level now, you'll hear the pro player immediately say, oh, he's dead. Because he's trying to basically waste my time. It's almost like Anatan running back towards his base made it seem like he was rallying reinforcements. So Demu just backs off and protects his investment. He is, however, also going to be investing in Castle Age. So Anatan with the edge here. Demu not too far behind. Republic of Genoa triggered. He's 40 seconds down. And Sacred Sites, Relics should be the main target now for Delhi. Does grab one of these relics here, but Chevalier, we're already waiting and will be able to snipe. And that's the only relic currently being picked up by Anatan. What was that for, though? He did just move out for 2 more. We've got one on the way from the corner. Snatches a second down here. These relics were kind of crazy for him, actually. Super far away from the Chevalier. Speaking of set contraire. Au contraire, it looks like they're going to raid. The timing. Are you kidding me? This is crazy. Anatan with the triple scout, the pro scouts, intercepted at the perfect moment. He was blind there. He didn't see that coming early. So by the time he would have noticed it, it would have been here, which means you're probably going to lose 3-4 villages to that many Chevalier. Demu now with Castle Age achieved. You don't really think genuinely is crossbows. Because you're up against elephants. I think he did glance the elephant. Yeah, he definitely sees it. Like, actually, you kind of need crossbows of your own. Wait. He actually brute forces the war elephant. I am actually impressed by that damage. That was quite a lot. Bloody hell. Alright, that charge in is no joke. Yeah, 27 damage per lance. Looks like the dock did get burnt down. Unfortunate as well, because Demu actually had a decent amount of food left here to gather. And we do have the Templar brother now getting queued up. Okay. Could this be a rush into the unique tech? Because that's kind of a sick idea now that I think about it. If you get a few Knights Templar and go rule with Templars, you have 30 Chevalier. 25. So that's an extra 50 charge damage. If you basically stagger it so that your Templar brother's going first. So initial contact on a War Elephant would be something like 75 damage per strike. Which is quite a lot. Oh, Anatan. Herbal medicine. He's trusting the War Elephants. Is he castle dropping into Imperial? It feels like it. I mean, he's got most of the relics. Free home intel. Other 2 should get denied, so I think Demu can eventually play for it. Notice that he didn't rush towards the timing because he realized it would have made him weak in the center. He was more about an all-in type moment. And now that he has secured the map, he can pick up what's left. If there's anything left at this rate. Good luck. comically, I think Anatan is about to run into the wolf murderer. Ooh. Okay, so 4 relics. Demu can't really let this slide. Playing static is gonna hurt him way too much now. The problem is, I think Anatan chose very much the correct convergence point with his play. Castle, gathering, war elephants, like arguably the point to kill him would have been before the keep got dropped when he had 1 war elephant. But now with triple elephant, herbal medicine, and crossbows, this is a very hard base for Demu to enter. Now, Demu does at least have his own form of relic. These pilgrims are essentially 2 relics each. But scaling them is always very difficult as Knights Templar. You very rarely will see a fortress before Castle Age. I'll say he's getting ready for that. Could just as easily be 2 TC, but I think he's likely just going to lean into more pilgrims. Nice hit here. Hello! Sick hit! Even with textiles, flops a few dead. Village Fortresses isn't in yet, so this definitely still hurts Anatan a lot. Army is holding back at the second wave, so he could just kind of bait Anatan out a little bit and try to engage. It's tricky though. With a castle there, you know you're going to be seen from any angle. The stealth forest doesn't extend deep enough for you to surprise attack. And the other problem is like Anatan at this stage has nothing else to do on the map. He's just camping in his base. So if you were playing a game where both players were raiding, think about it this way, that, you know, I'm looking over here, and I'm looking over here, and then you raid my base, I maybe don't see it. Anatan, I mean, if he full zooms out, he pretty much sees everything he needs. Is Demu going Imperial Age? Does that work? No. Okay, so we're getting Rams now. He might be forced into it, actually. Palace of Sultan's on the way. This is exactly what we thought Anna was going to go for. I'm just scratching my noggin, wondering what do you get out of this as Knights Templar if you mirror. We've got a fortress drop, but that's not maybe what I was expecting. He secures the Sacred Site instead of going for the enemy base, so this is going to be Age 4 versus Age 4. I mean, we do have some rounds being added in by Demu to be a little frustrating, which is going to be frustrating because Anatan has teched a total of 0 techs out of the House of... Wait, what? Okay. House of Learning's about to turn into House of Unlearning. It would only take 30 seconds for some of these techs, but who cares? Hitting it was almost a reminder. Oh, that's right. Free stuff. Oh, no. He doesn't even get Mahoots, which is huge here. Demu, does he know as well? I think he maybe clicked the elephants and saw a lack of movement speed. So yeah, he commits in. House of Learning down. That is a huge error. Anatan just missing out on Mahoots, Hakes, and also Hearty Rations. All would have been incredibly useful here with his build. And we have double Fortress drop. Demu is going to be following him into the next stage. This is crazy. So well played by Ben. Trip Sacred Site as well. Also, keep in mind with these Fortress drops, it sets them up really nicely to go into Treasure Towers, which is going to allow them to generate even more resources from the Pilgrims and the Sacred Sites themselves. So Sacred Sites will end up going up to 340 because you need to set up over here as well to get the 360. But then the Pilgrims themselves, they get a little bit nutty, guys. They go up to 203 gold per cycle. This is strong. Demu, do it for the memes. You've picked trade once before on Dry River and won a game. I need you to do it again. Because it's kind of less of a meme, folks. The Republic of Venice, in theory, against elephants, I think Condottiero could be quite good. The gunpowder elephant specifically. I don't know, though. I haven't tested this. I wonder if he has. I don't think they have the gunpowder tag, which is unfortunate. Okay, so yeah, you can't Condottiero. Wait, what? That would have maybe been the one niche use where they were good. Okay, I'm annoyed. I'm So for those who don't know, Condottiero, they take less damage from hand cannon shots, and they'll do more damage to those hand cannoneers because they have gunpowder attack. But I don't think that these guys do. I don't think elephants do. 5 condos take out a Sultan elephant fast. Have you tested that? So these guys do have gunpowder tag? Okay, that's huge then. I just don't think it's going to do it because the problem is there's no trade. So you miss out on half the point of Venice. Instead, it is going to be Kingdom of Poland. Yes. So the Slashta cavalry is pretty effective here. The Slashtas can pretty much swarm overwhelm, and they're so tanky they just don't die. Before we get to that cavalry, check these guys. Another big deal. Remember, Kingdom of Poland is going to give you a 50% increase to your charge damage. These guys are going to strike you so hard you'll feel it. They could one-hit textile villages. Dress the target down. Gotta be careful with that elephant, actually. He could just jump it. Yeah, I think Demu's showing a lot of respect because he doesn't know where the rest of the army is. So he doesn't want to risk it, even though that would have been a fantastic freebie. And we do have the treasure towers in now. Yeah, so a nutty amount of gold coming in. He's getting 812 passive gold a minute off of these. That is wild. And really important, actually. You need that for Slashta. Slashta are fairly heavy on the gold. Not as much as on the food, but still. House of Learning again. It hasn't even been repaired, guys. He still doesn't have Mahouts. I don't know how these elephants are meant to fight. Bombards are now arriving to make it less than 812. Can he at least get the checkout before the kill? Yeah, he can. This is big. Cha-ching! Oh, yes. Ignore the fact our safe passage is about to be shut here. I don't know if Anastan can actually decap this. Oh. Tower Elephant. He gets it. Pins it in. Fantastic kill. And just runs straight away. Look at that lance damage. That's without the extra tech. Remember, the Rule of Templars, which could keep buffing it up. Reminder, by the way, Rule of Templars, the way it works with the Polish Fortitude, it actually increases your damage by 3 per charging unit. Because you get 2 by base and then a 50% increase from the Polish. Very, very powerful. I mean, when you think about the amount of cavalry he's got as well, just 20 of these guys are giving you an extra 3. That would be 60 more charge damage, so you'd be hitting for 128 on a lance charge. Now, that sounds OP, but guys, honestly, I don't think it is. I think, calm down, hear me out. You just build spears. Because if you brace, there's no charge. It's a very situational tech. What is quite insane is the other element about Polish Fortitude. It's the 10% health, which scales multiplicatively with biology. Watch the health bar on... That's just Chevalier. I don't care about them. Look at the Templar brothers. 363 health. We're about to start feeling like we're playing with Gilded Knights. Remember, these guys have higher base health than standard knights. I usually feel like Templar brothers are a bit of a meme in Castle, but in Imperial, they're nuts. 446 HP. More fortresses coming up. So Demu, he did switch to the other sacred site. This was like a raw economy logic. He's going to get max gold over here. By switching down here, he guarantees that he also gets the castle buff to increase it by 20%. Polish versus Delhi. The elephant can feast on the pilgrim, but I think the Slashta may feast on it. Yeah, Slashta are very weird, guys. You have a Warhammer, but it's more effective against light infantry. You would have thought this would be a heavy damage plus. It's not. But their base damage is high enough, they don't care. Meanwhile, oh, hello. Backside farms. I mean, the problem is, Anatan is just playing a game of put out the fires in his own base. It's really smart by Demu just to play mass cav like this, because he's just uncatchable. It feels dangerous because of War Elephant, but at this basing, let's say War Elephants try to rush your base. You can just rush his and burn down all landmarks. You like SS healing? I don't think it's worth it. Demu guy's a Templar expert? I didn't realize the order required you to shave your head bald when you... Apparently in this one it did. Okay, I gotta get. Nah, I was about to say, I think the Polish cavalry looks sick in purple. They honestly look best. You gotta do the Polish colors, you know? Now, funnily enough, the Schlachta do kind of bounce out up against crossbows because of that light tag. Oh, nice snipe on the bombard. Oh, he gets on top of him. It's time to get brotherly in here. And he's going to smother him with ponies. It wipes out the crossbow ball. Elephants are less advisable to intercept here, so we'll back away now. Has got crossbow ball building up behind this. Reminder, by the way, like you kind of have to play hard around cavalry in the late game as Knights Templar because you do not have gunpowder units. Wait, what do you mean Demu only plays Knights Templar? Dude spends more time on Chinese Shushi, it feels like. Which are going to probably get banned. His ladder? I watched a few games earlier and I noticed like it wasn't just Knights Templar. He's playing like Chinese, so maybe I'm just watching him at the wrong time. So I think what it was is because he queued into Beastie and Beastie was picking OP civs. He's like, screw this. Oh my god. Yo! Kind sir, can you just like chill? Okay, the Schlachta, so here's an interesting thought. I think Schlachta cavalry's bludgeoning attacks, which decreases attack speed of enemies it hits. I think it affects both the elephant and the rider, which is kind of huge. Still not sure about Templar. I think they have strong points and weak points in the game. Like in this matchup, I don't know how you feel, Marine. My feeling is that Delhi just roll you 9 times out of 10. But the difference, what Demu done really smart here is he picked them out for fishing. I think the fishing changed everything. We also do now have 2 TC, so Demu realizing they have to play a bit of catch up. Scenarios is going to be on the way as well. Castle's being built behind this, but like it's so hard to keep that castle count high in Imperial. It's down to just one, second one coming up. And remember, if it's not on the secret site, you don't buff the villages, or the pilgrims rather. The irony is that Demu's playing so much Templar, but when it came to the preview event, I think he played like 8 games and then went back to the main server. Oh no, we've got a castle as well. Which I think is he set that up perfectly to kill just before they get the gold, maybe? Feels a little bit defensive for that. Oi! Oi, oi, oi! Backstab coming in. Such high base damage on all these units. The villagers are not going to survive this. So a big hit to the economy. Anatan may have the military lead. But eco-wise, he's fallen behind. He needs to get revenge. And he's going to try for it. Here we go. Elephants into the main. At this point, I'd be all chat typing as Anatan saying, I hope you built fortresses. Because you're going to need them. He's just attacking any building he can find. Good interception on some of the tower elephants on the flanks. He's not going to die if he loses the TC, guys. Remember, he has got fortresses, so as long as you have a fortress, you have a temporary landmark. Crossbow boys are starting to bulk. I think the Genoese... Wait, why is Genoese crossbowmen? Was that a misclick? I feel like... So Genoese crossbowmen are weird. I don't know if anyone else has felt this, but I feel like they're really good in Castle Age, but they really suck in Imperial. Their stats just don't feel like they scale very well. Oh my dear god. Oh, gee, Delhi and elephants. I've never seen this before. I wonder who's going to win. I really wonder who... I can't believe this. I feel so bad for Ben. I feel like he played this game really well. Pinned Anatan to the base, gave him no control, no easy solution. Except one. 17 war elephants! This might be a reasonable fight if Schlachta had a hammer that actually done bonus against heavy. But no, in the end, the Delhi disapprove. And the pick works out as expected for Anatan when he originally conceptualized it in the draft. Man, what a crazy game. I don't know what you guys think about this one. I mean, maybe it needs some refinement, but Demu, it feels like he's cooking. There was a timing in mind here. Just maybe he needed him to go in instead of slow rolling it. I don't know if it would have really changed the outcome. It's hard to say, but you always feel like you're on the clock when you see roll offense coming and you want to play late game as Knights Templar because most of the time it's going to involve a lot of cavalry.